I'ma be real with you to open up this video. I do not have anything to say when it comes to the Buffalo Sabres firing Kevyn Adams and hiring Jarmo Kekalainen as their new GM. Pretty big deal if I do say so myself. I mean, Kevyn Adams was given one of the unreasonably longer leashes in the National Hockey League amongst the core of GMs that exist, and we could all sit together and talk about the job that he did in Buffalo. We can ask questions like, hey, was it really Kevyn Adams' ineptitude at building teams in the National Hockey League that led to this point? Or was there an external voice, one maybe above him, one that potentially owns the Buffalo Sabres, that was whispering into his ears rumblings of what he should do? We can debate about this till the cows come home. But I think the point is, at the end of the day, the Buffalo Sabres have not been a good team. They've stunk up the entire Eastern Conference, the Metro Division, and what have you for the past decade and a bit. They haven't made the playoffs since 2011. And by the way, in that first-round series 14 years ago, they lost in the first round to Philadelphia. I only know this because the 2011 playoffs is burned into the back of my memory. But Buffalo has been a bad team for years now. Multiple top picks spanning the past few years. You got Sam Reinhart in 2014, Eichel in 2015. Lo and behold, the Sabres miss out on first overall 2 years in a row. And then you had some other guys coming in there too. In between, you had the Alex Nylanders and the Casey Mittelstads, and inevitably you got first overall picks and Dahlin and Power. But the Sabres are still where they are right now, and Jarmo Kekalainen is going to try to do a job that has not been done in Buffalo in over a decade, so we will all be very interested in seeing where that goes. But the reason we are talking about the Sabres in this video is not because of the firing. I think that just happened to have come out around this time. But it's because of what we had learned about the Buffalo Sabres as a team on the market. Take a look at this tweet posted by NHL Rumor Report. It's what David Pagnotta said in the fourth period 2 days ago. The Buffalo Sabres are believed to be exploring the market for upgrades up front, though it does not seem like there is a move imminent. Okay, great. If there's any team that's going to go out there and start shopping for forward support, I would not have expected the Sabres to have been that team. But you could also debate whether or not the Sabres should be, or were, in the market for defense. And this is exactly what Pierre LeBrun went out there and wrote about 2 days ago too on The Athletic. Here's another tweet regarding Quinn Hughes of the Vancouver Canucks at the time. At the time, he's not there anymore. The Devils, Red Wings, and Rangers are among those 6 teams confirmed to have made legit offers. The Devils feel they made a strong offer first. LeBrun says he can also confirm the Sabres and Hurricanes showed interest. Now, you can read into that the way you will. Oh, the New Jersey Devils gave a strong first offer, but does that imply a second offer that wasn't really all too great? Or a second offer that didn't exist at all? Does this give Quinn Hughes the right to go out there and throw some shade at Tom Fitzgerald for not stepping up and making the big trade to get him in New Jersey? Who knows? But as I said, this is a Buffalo video, so where exactly is this conversation going to go? Well, this is what Chris Johnston said on the Sabres and Quinn Hughes earlier this morning, I presume, on the Chris Johnston Show. Johnston said the Sabres were interested in Quinn Hughes. They need a shakeup in a major way. They've had talks ongoing about Bo Byram going way back. Perhaps he could have been the centerpiece of a deal, but that didn't get done. And there is something so hilarious to me. The idea that Buffalo, on a day that they fired their GM and they brought on some new management, the fact that this team was apparently in there on the Quinn Hughes trade sweepstakes so much that the Bowen Byram conversation got reignited one more time. I mean, we had seen Quinn Hughes trade rumors with a whole bunch of teams over the past few weeks, it seems like, but Buffalo was never in there. Because the idea was, the guy wants to go to a place where he can win. He wants to go to an environment with greener pastures and more dubs up there on the board. He wanted to be a part of a championship team, and he wants to do that every single year. I don't care how good Quinn Hughes is, and he's very good, by the way. But he is not the difference between taking the Buffalo Sabres from the dumpster place they are now and bringing them into contention status year in and year out. If that was possible, if a LeBron James level impact on an NHL team was possible, where one team is meh to not great, and all of a sudden one superstar player comes in, he brings them back to the promised land. If that was possible in the NHL, it would have already been done by Vancouver multiple years in a row. We've learned over the past decade, 2 decades, that hockey can't be dominated in the same way that basketball is when it comes to an individual talent's impact on game results. You can have the best player in the world, and he can still be playing in Edmonton. That's exactly what we had seen with Connor McDavid over the past decade, and thankfully, for the Oilers' sake, they did start winning, and now they're in this spot. They've won back-to-back Western Conference titles. But hey, the Oilers didn't do that with just McDavid alone. Yeah, he won the Conn Smythe, but Leon Draisaitl and Evan Bouchard were there. Not to mention superstar, all-star, one-of-a-kind goalie and Stuart Skinner. But for Vancouver, it's like, yeah, no, if Quinn Hughes wanted to win, he's going to a team that's not Buffalo. I'm sorry. The idea that they wanted this guy and they were like, yeah, no, we can convince him to come over here. Could you imagine how pissed off Quinn would have been? It's like, oh yeah, I'm in Vancouver. I'm already checked out. It's been a few weeks, nothing's happening, the guy's not playing well anymore, the guy's not making good interviews happen, he's not really representing the face of the franchise as the captain in a good way to the public. Like, say what you want about Quinn behind closed doors, in the room, as a teammate, I'm not going to speak about that, but in a public-facing role with the captaincy assigned to him, he wasn't a good captain. Like, the way he checked out, essentially, body language, verbal language, in the media, in the press, this guy didn't represent being a captain in a way that I think an NHL captain should. And I think maybe that's a part of the situation itself. You can say that Vancouver just threw the captaincy on Quinn Hughes in one of these efforts to hopefully make him stay. But at the end of the day, Quinn has a very specific desire to win, and he would not do that in Buffalo. I'm sorry, like, if Bowen Byram also came back over to Vancouver in this trade, obviously there would be some fans, like, we all remember Bowen Byram back when he was draft eligible, or at least some of us do. He was playing for the Giants in 2018-19, and he was so good, I think he ended up breaking the record, like he was the first WHL defenseman to lead the playoffs in point scoring in that season, something like that. But the bottom line is he was on top of the world in that time frame, that Bowen Byram. But after a bunch of injuries and some stall development with Colorado where he couldn't really get over the hump, and there also happened to have been more elite defensemen in that organization establishing themselves too, Bowen Byram was traded to Buffalo. And I'm not going to sit here and say that it's like, oh wow, the guy really disappointed. I mean, he won a Stanley Cup. Yes, he was with Colorado when that happened, and they were a very good team, but he has some accolades, and he is a pretty good player. It's just, I think at this point, Zeev Buium, you can say that he is going to be better than Bowen Byram is. And Byram was drafted back in 2019. Zeev Buium's a guy from 2024, so there's a 5-year age difference there that I think is significant to acknowledge and bring up as a result of Vancouver's reach for a left-handed defenseman in this trade. Buffalo would not have gotten that done. But could you imagine how pissed off Quinn would have been if it's like, oh, you're going from one dumpster fire to another in the East. This time you're going to Buffalo, baby. Like, Kevin Adams, if you really wanted to get one big splash in there before you were fired, you could have gone out there and did this trade. But it didn't happen. So we're sitting here and talking about what could have been, right? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about the Vancouver Canucks and this idea that Quinn Hughes could have gotten traded to Buffalo if the Sabres just pulled their jock straps up and started to get that one through. Let me know in the comments all your opinions. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.